basically, these are all in alphabetical order, but we'll work through in terms of tanks and shit first. I want to go through and give an opinion on what I think would make sort of the most fun metagame for Overwatch, considering how bullshit it is at the moment. Because I don't think anyone's having any fun with it. I'm actually going to mute myself on Twitch because I think there's echo. There you go. So, we're going to start at the start and work our way through. And obviously we do it alphabetically. D.Va. D.Va's S tier in every tier list ever. D.Va doesn't deserve anything less. D.Va just creates a fun game state, in my opinion. As probably a D.Va player, playing her in a good way is enjoyable. Playing her against her in a good way is enjoyable. Let's see if I can make like split screen here. There you go. Oh no, fuck it. Okay. So all in all, I think she just stays in S. Defense matrix, boosters. It's just more enjoyable to play a game with and against a D.Va than against most other characters in the game. She strikes me as fairly well balanced and just what the game should promote in terms of splitting for peel and aggression, in terms of being able to solo out characters and duel, being able to protect. It's just, she's a good character. I wish they'd revert her though. They've nerfed her into the fucking ground and it's disgusting. It's pathetic. Next tank up, Orisa. Orisa's a solid D tier. Orisa's a boring piece of shit to play and play against. Shield nerfs did nothing other than just... No, it did nothing. It just slightly changed her game style. I fucking hate it. She enforces a very stagnant, boring, hold one spot sense of play, and it's really fucking bad for the game. It's just bad, bad, bad. In my opinion. Reinhardt. Probably high A. High A. For very similar reasons that I'm actually going to go ahead and put Winston in the same bracket. Actually no, Winston's going to be a bit higher, but just for the same reasons essentially. So Reinhardt is an enjoyable, just in general, to play as and against. The Rein duels are fun to watch. The Rein techs are important and just overall game changing, knowing what you're doing on a Reinhardt. Playing against a Reinhardt almost never feels like oppressive. Playing with a Reinhardt always feels difficult enough to sort of warrant doing well. It feels rewarding, and I feel like watching it and experiencing it with and against, positive and negative, it's better to have a Reinhardt. And again with Winston. Winston is a character that's insanely hard to play. You hear like whingy ass just dipshits that can't play around on Monkey complaining about Winston being no skill, no aim. No brain, no aim, must be a Winston main. Sort of bullshit, but Winston is mad difficult to play. You watch any clip, any YouTube compilation of big brain Winston gameplay, and it's just enjoyable to watch. It's mad fun to play and do well. It's really easy to counter, but if you play it well, it's insanely impactful. Playing with and against a Winston is just fun. Bubble cooldown is such a good cooldown in terms of actually balancing skill and impact. I love it. It's huge. It's huge. Ult is insanely satisfying and hugely impactful. I just love that all. Hoggy. Hog's probably middling, actually. Hog I'll keep as a safe sort of midpoint. Hog has the ability to sort of almost solo tank. He's similar to Wrecking Ball in that you can just sort of run him in 2-2-2 as almost a third DPS. Just because he's just there. He's sticky, he does essentially what D.Va can do, just less mobile. He needs a change in order to be actually useful in the game, but a Roadhog will never be able to bully an entire team too bad. He'll just displace enough for his team to win the fight. He's a team player character, if that makes sense. A flank hog will get value, but hog can win one, maybe two fights at a time. You can't go 3v6 as a hog, which is what makes him the most balancing thing here. All these characters have big cleave, big play potential. Hitting shatters, blocking shatters, eating ults, huge bubbles, huge primals, insane pressure on the backline. Hog presents sort of that extra punish for displacement. It provides that extra damage on an off angle, especially in 2-2-2. It's very useful to have that around. He can peel, he has the CC that isn't the worst thing on the game. He's probably one of the only balanced stuns in the game, in my opinion, in regards to its projectile, how easy it is to break LOS with it, how easy it is to counter it, how hard it is and it can be to execute. Obviously super high up play. You run into Roadhogs that can combo the 250 flawlessly every time. That's insane, but that's mad hard to do. Hugely punishing to play well, hugely punishing to play bad. Hog is a middle. Sigma. Not a S or A, definitely not. B, C or D. I feel like at the moment, actually, he's probably copped a bad rap because he plays with Orisa, who's just utter trash for the game. And he's just nothing but garbo. So he'll be high up, similar to Roadhog in that his pressure is insane. He works as a counter flank. Would work better as a diva character, but just less fun to play. He's got the CC, which is just trash. It's a terrible implementation of a stun. Should just be an explosion damage ability, in my opinion. His sphere should do less explosion damage. He's useful. He applies pressure and he cuts LOS the same as Monkey. But he's so stagnant. If he had a movement ability instead of rock, it would be cool. His rock is just bad. His grasp is just defense matrix, but like worse. No one doesn't shoot at grasp when it's up. People just shoot at it because it's easy to deal with him once his health is gone. I don't think he deserves above a B, especially considering he plays with Orisa. If you can probably run Sigma with what, a Zarya is probably the only other thing. Sigma Zarya would be a really fun comp, but he's just a worse Reinhardt in my opinion. I'm going to keep him down there, he's probably going to shuffle. Zarya, A tier. If she's meta, if Zarya is good in the game, then you're running pretty much a Death Ball comp. Or you're running her as Peel, because you're running... Why would you run her as Peel over Diva? Nah, Zarya helps implement a frontline, and frontline combat is insanely fun to play and watch, play against, and to watch. So I think she's pretty safely tied with Ryan, ironically enough. Those combo is pretty good. It's fun to watch, fun to play against. These 1v1s come down to cooldown and mechanics, whereas like this 1v1, just, it comes down to who gets the most healing. No one wins in a Orisa 1v1. All these cooldowns, all these 1v1s are just actually mechanic based. Being able to win a duel with these characters is insanely important. I probably could put her a little down. She's got probably one of the more forgiving defensive abilities in the game. If they fuck with Bubble too much, she'll definitely drop, but I feel like where she is, she's pretty alright. Just below Reinhardt. And then Wrecking Ball is obviously S+ tier. Wrecking Ball being good is insane. Just in terms of he's such a wanky playstyle character. If Ball is good, you're obviously running multiple DPS, or like huge systems of like pincer setups, running double snipers, running... Like, Ball does his job as a tank at a minimum, and just forks out damage. So if Ball is good, huge DPS is good. If Ball is good, you're displacing, you're learning good boops. Good minefields for pressured and denial. A good Ball is insane. It's fun to play Ball. It's never too oppressive to play against Ball, question mark. I've never felt too oppressed against a Wrecking Ball. He gets hard shut down by a lot of characters that are going to go in D tier, which is why like him being this high up, but I feel like he's very close to being bad to play against. He's either S or D really, because either he's going to be too annoying to play against, and it's not going to be fun to watch, especially if it's like just where Ball was before the 2-2-2 roll-lock, where he was just a stagger character, a character to circle jerk on point, spin to win. Shit, that's not fun. We don't want that meta. We don't want balls doing nothing. We want an active ball gameplay, an arming Esh, wrecking ball, someone that just forks out the damage, the denial, the everything, and it's insane. Put him below Winston, just above Reinhardt. Dems all the tanks. Dems all the tanks, that's definitive. Orisa belongs down here, actually. Can I add another fucking row? I want to add another row. Add row below. Z. It's a Z tier, it's a bottom. Orisa should never be meta. Okay. Ana. High up. Ana's high up. There's no way Ana isn't high up. She has the most balanced CC ability. Sleep is insanely good. It's a skill shot, it's a projectile, it has a huge cooldown but a huge effect. She requires insane mechanics to do well with. Her nades win team fights if you can hit them, her sleep wins team fights if you can hit them, she can be countered, she's diveable. She strikes me as an insanely balanced character who has huge in-game play potential. Her damage needs to be upped a little bit, but she definitely belongs up here with these boys. Ana's huge. Baptiste. Depends on the Baptiste you're watching. If you're watching a Rascal Baptiste, it's definitely an A or a B tier. If you're juggling properly the damage and the healing, A or B tier, just shitting out healing. He's a D. Easy. He's just too easy mode of a healer. His healing or his damage needs a nerf, because doing one or the other is just boring. Immort Field is dumb. It was a stupid idea. Window is enforcing bad playstyles from certain characters that just shit out value from it, that don't need any more value to be gained. But I think if you're able to juggle and play, well, you don't fucking move anywhere from there. If you are able to juggle, he can definitely be up at an A tier for obviously a good Baptiste, but if it's a Baptiste just shitting out healing, it'd be a Z tier. So we'll put him in between Sigma and Hog. Just he belongs. Brigitte, D, done. Easy, I'm not going to explain that. Mercy, D, done. Not going to explain that. And Moira as well. All three of these heroes are very boring, vanilla, easy to use, easy to play heroes. Enforce bad playstyles. Like, mechanically, they're insanely low. Skill cap, insanely poor in terms of a necessary almost game sense. Brigitte goes probably Brigitte and Angel, what's her name? Mercy. Just above Moira. Moira's almost Z tier in her playstyle. She's almost Z tier. She's very near it. Brig and Mercy. Brig, terrible CC. Worst thing to be implemented into the game. Obviously, delete Brig was a thing for a reason. Her healing is insane for little to no risk. She's low risk, high reward. Mercy's low risk, high reward. Damage boost is insane. Valkyrie is insane. Guardian Angel is insane. Rez is insane. Everything in her kit is just busted. And they've decided to nerf her healing as a result, and that was the terrible idea to go. I think the idea of Rez in this game is way too broken. Same with Immortality Field. They're just not things that should be in the game. No FPS should have Resurrect or an Immortality. They're just words that shouldn't exist as keywords, in my opinion. They don't... I mean, again, Mercy is probably either a D or a C. Moira stays well and truly down here. We'll put her in a high Z now so we don't get it mixed up. But Mercy has probably the most replay potential. Watching Moth videos, watching Neptuno videos, your Veltol videos. Frag Mercy, if you can obviously hit the Mercy that juggles the damage, the healing and the pistol. It's insanely fun to watch. It's never too bad to play against, unlike a Moira. or a Baptiste, where if you play trying to 1v1 a character and they've got a Moira or Baptiste in 20 meters of them, they don't die. Brigitte, you can't 1v1 with any of these characters above. Brigitte can't be 1v1'd. Mercy just pussies off, but I'm going to say a modicum of game sense around Guardian Angel and your team working around it. These three are really hard to balance, but I think this is roughly where it goes. I don't think they belong much higher up than that. Lucio, S+. Oh, you're Junkrat. S+. Add row above. Lucio. There you go. That's where Lucio belongs. Very obvious reason. Lucio is very well balanced. Healing is nice and low. Speed boost is very good. Very good. Speed boost is an amazing ability. It is useful with every character here. You've got the speed boost to push aggro, hold defensive. You've got amp heals for long fights. You've got amp speed for short fights. You've got wall climb just to be able to get yourself into positions where you shouldn't be. You've got boop, which is good for so many things. Lucio Enforcer is a fun play style. He can duel. You've got the 1v1s, which are really good. Any duelist Lucio is insane. Frogger, SK, Reddit Lucio is insanely fun to watch, insanely fun to play. Playing against, I've never felt super oppressed by Lucio. These characters, I feel like I've been oppressed by, is sort of the problem. Hog can shuffle down. No, Hog can't shuffle down, Hog can stay up. Because he can be easily beaten by a decent, just awareness. Lucio is just good. Lucio is a good character. Solid balance, good design. Lovely. And Zenyatta is also high S. Yeah, something like that. For Zenyatta's frag potential. Healing is low enough for him to not feel super oppressive. DPS is insanely high. His triple headshot potential he's essentially a McCree with healing and Discord. Discord Orb is really well done. The changes they made to him during GOATs to Discord Orb being less impactful but solo damage being more impactful to sort of increase his own impact in the game. Beautiful change. Lucio, these two are good because they can be dove, but they can also counter that dive. This comes down to you can't just easy mode kill them, you can't easy mode be botted down by them. Obviously Transcendence, insane, busted, huge brain. Lucio, speed boost, no not speed boost, what's his ult? It should be speed boost. Sound barrier, insane, huge potential. Transcendence is better than sound barrier, but Zen isn't as good as Lucio for speed. Speed is better than Discord. Big IMO. And that's all healers? All healers, easy mode. Now, these I'm almost going to have to rush through. Ashe, high, but not as high as I'm going to put Widowmaker. I'm going to put her in a C tier because we don't have anyone there. I think obviously having a high reward DPS, skill shot DPS is insanely good. But I think just because Dynamite is in her kit, it's not fun to play against. Charges Bob nutty quick, and I get that sort of in her entire existence is Widowmaker but deal with group. But Dynamite isn't fun to play against. In my opinion, Bob isn't fun. If you can spam a Bob every minute and a half, it stops being fun pretty quick. Obviously a good shot Ashe is a good shot Ashe, and you obviously need to reward that gameplay. But I think B is probably the most middling I can give her. Best for a Bastion Z tier. Terrible character design. 0 out of 10. Shouldn't be in the game. Remove him. Enforces a bad playstyle. 0 awareness. Obviously, it's basically mechanics over nothing, but DPS is too high to for even that. You don't even need super strong mechanics to play a good Bastion. He's a stagnant character, which just completely voids the needing of positioning and rotation, which is a huge part of the game. He has his self-heal, he's 100 armor, he's 10% damage reduction in turret. He's just way too forgiving of a character, and he's easily exploited, but if Bastion is meta, the game state dies as a result. It's a boring game state, it just exists of essentially, it's bad. Bastion is bad. Bastion's Widowmaker, but very, very bad. Doomfist, below Brigitte. As much as fun as it is like to play, Doomfist goes up here in terms of to play in a good way. If you can play Doomfist good and it all works out, Doomfist goes up insanely high. But everyone who isn't the Doomfist, when the Doomfist is doing well, isn't having fun that game. So that's what I'm trying to figure out here. Doomfist is only beaten by CC. Characters like that shouldn't exist. Doomfist CC is insanely high. Any of these 1v1s, Doomfist has complete control over the fight. He just removes your ability to play a character, and it's not fun. It's very close to Z tier. D to Z tier, but he's fun to play. He's obviously difficult to play, certain situations. Unfortunately, CC is in the game, looking at Brigitte, so he doesn't go up too high. Doesn't go down too low even. Gengu's strong up here. Again, solid rewarding for good mechanics, good communication, good essentially everything for Genji. His damage on his shurikens is just low enough for him to not be oppressive. He needs to be hitting the skill shots, short dashes, headshot combos, melees, all that good stuff. He's in a really good spot, and to play with, he's fun. To play against, it feels like you can almost always do something. Never feels too oppressive as a Genji if you're playing properly. Again, he's just Doomfist but better. Like, Doomfist is a worse Genji for the health of the game. In my opinion, Doomfist is Genji with extra health and stuns, which is just bad. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. Hanzo is probably going to be the lowest skill shot hero, because he is the lowest skill required for a skill shot hero. Spam Sniper is always a terrible combination. It's something I've vouched for a very long time. It's the same reason Ashe is so low down as well. Being able to pepper Storm Arrows was a terrible inclusion. Scatter was infinitely better than a Storm Arrow, and I was a tank player when Scatter was a thing, and it was so much better to be scattered than to be. It was so much better to be scattered than to be sonicked. Like, if you play Reinhardt, especially now after shield nerfs, Sonic just is the most oppressive thing on us. Oh my god, Storm Arrow. Sonic is balanced, Sonic is fine. Obviously, skill shots are good. Any character with skill shot deserves at least above a D. It's probably actually low B. Because that's at least mechanically farming. Spam is bad for the game. Again, rewards mindless idling to an extent. Sonic, good skillful ability. I like it. His arrow hitboxes are too big. Leap was a terrible inclusion. Makes him terrible in Sniper 1v. Makes him terribly oppressive to fight in Sniper 1v1s. Vertical mobility, insanely good though. But he stays down here. His ult is just... It's obviously been very strong for a long time because it can kill through Transcendence. But... I mean... Nah, he stays down here. Very close to high C. We'll keep him in high C because there's nothing there yet. Junkrat, again... Lower C than Hanzo. Spam, bad for game. The fact Junkrat can play in a position that puts him out of danger while putting others in danger is just bad for the game state. I get that it forces strong flanker playstyle, but Trap is terrible. Trap is, again, one of the worst CCs in the game. The fact it goes on cooldown immediately after it's placed instead of after it's triggered, terrible. Terrible mechanic. Concussive is too much movement control, and he shits out too much damage. I think it's just too much damage for too little effort required, in my opinion. And I feel like he would be so much more oppressive if Hanzo wasn't in the game. Hanzo is Junkrat, but with headshots. And that's just the fact of the matter, unfortunately. Junkrat is bad. Junkrat enforces, again, a very stagnant gameplay. It's similar to Bastion. Enforces a very boring game style. It's just going to be bad for the game if he's good. Crate. A little bit higher than Ashe. Flashbang is pretty okay. As much as I hate stun CCs. But bang isn't the worst. I wish its stun duration was cooled down a little bit. It does feel oppressive once you're caught out. Fan the hammer, I think, is a stupid ability that shouldn't be in the game. It's one of the worst things ever. Either that or his movement should be so much louder than it is. Um, having an insta kill ability on a right click is just dumb. I hate that. But Kree all in all feels relatively weak enough. Um, but again, I think he only feels weak enough because there are better characters. But his skill shot, his big brain, watching someone like Pine play McCree will make you realise how good he is for the game. Enforcing stuff like what Pine does is exactly what we want to be doing. So, yeah, combat rolls and ant ability. High Noon is probably really actually one of the most versatile ults. I say that unironically. The reload cancel that people do with it for memes is valid because sometimes you can just deal more damage quicker by being good at him. It's a zoning tool which is really effective. It's definitely a cooldown beta. You can use it just, if anything, to bait stuns or shields out from opponents. Zoning, and it deals a fuck ton of damage. It removes shields. If you can charge it up long enough safely, it's insane. So that's pretty solid McCree. May, terrible. May shouldn't be in the game. Delete May. May enforces, again, a very safe, basic, boring playstyle that just shouldn't be ever. Shouldn't be in the game. Shouldn't be rewarded. Shouldn't be included at all. Terrible, terrible addition to the game. Anyone who plays it can just die. Honestly, May's just trash. It shouldn't be in the game. Same with Sombra. These two characters rely heavily off not earning any value and getting it brainlessly. May requires something like a 20% weapon accuracy to freeze a target, and you should not be rewarded with the best CC in the game for the lowest accuracy you need in the game. It's terrible, it's dumb. Wall is busted. Used well, it's insane. It's just dumb. I hate Wall. Cryo is stupid as well. Cryo should be breakable like Wall is. Having an immortality for 5 seconds plus the self-heal is just broke. It's just broke. I hate May. May's terrible. Sombra's insane as well, the same as well. People complain that she's not useful. She doesn't win 1v1s with DPS, but she shouldn't. Hack is an ability that is inherently bad for the gameplay. Essentially, everything that makes these characters strong, their ability usage, gets nullified by her existence. When she is played meta, she becomes whoever gets caught out with the right click. If anyone gets caught out with the right click, the team with the Sombra wins, and whoever gets caught out with the right click just dies instantly. She has a kill on 2-second cooldown essentially. With that, Translocator's busted. It's actually insane, Translocator. EMP is way too big. EMP shouldn't affect hack targets. It shouldn't go through shields. It can destroy shields, all fine, but it shouldn't go through it. There's no counterplay for EMP other than outpositioning. And if you're outpositioning, the Sombra can just hold EMP. It's way too hard to work, in my opinion. So, I hate it. Sombra, May, bottoming, worst, terrible, bad for the game. Same with these characters, but they're just inherently worse. They enforce such a toxic playstyle on the community. I'm not going to answer your call, Callum. Hit me up in Discord if you want me to. If you want to complain about my list. If you want to complain, you can square up. I'm in Discord. Come at me. Far highest up on the spam heroes. Probably. Her counterplay potential exists, but nah, I don't mind Farah being roughly here. She's obviously hard to play. Her projectiles are insanely slow, as fast as they are to fire, but they're just... She gets her value against Splash. She has her position. Did you join me? What are you going to complain about? Hit me up. Go.
I think that Mercy and Moira should at least be up one more clocky.
Did you do you know the premise of why I'm putting them this low down? Did you listen to that logic?
No, I only got it in like probably a quarter of the way through.
Okay, they are this
Um,
far down because of how bad they are for the people who play them and the habits that they enforce
does the value of both of them to the team not
is not
justify
equivocal. No, the
this?
value that they provide to the game is unequal to the value to the amount of skill that they require to play.
So if we removed both characters from the game,
It would
would
be a
it
better
not
game.
be?
Anything below D
Would
tier
it,
could
no,
be
would it not?
yeah, yeah, it would. Anything below D
I
tier can
would.
be removed for the betterment of the game. C tier is
No, I
hedging
don't
on
know.
the edge of that.
I don't know. I'd say at the very least, Doomfist, keep Doomfist in the game. But I generally agree with the rest of you.
Doomfist is pretty middling, as I was saying with that. I think he belongs below Brigida because of how
Hmm.
insane his CC is. He has complete control over whoever he's fighting in the game, and it's just unfun
Yeah,
to play against.
you, you should make sure that you're recording this because this is prime podcast material, like what you were saying.
Yeah,
Like just generally watching this very soothing tone of voice, Liam. I'm proud of you.
thank you. I'm trying to be
So good.
sultry. But yeah, Doomfist is down because his counterplay is solely based on stuns because of how fast his movement is, and anything that enforces stun gameplay shouldn't be in the game.
Yeah. Just, yeah, fair. I also have no idea which Liam speaking is coming from you and which one's coming from my
Coming from
my,
the stream,
my Twitch stream.
it's all good. If I
Yeah.
turn on my Twitch as well, it'll be like extra'd. So if I like up
Just
this
like
volume here,
coming from the
there we go. So, oops,
I'm gonna mute myself for a second, and I'm gonna see if I can hear
there we
the
go.
various layers come through.
There will be multiple versions of us playing.
Okay,
How
hang on.
wild is that? I'm going to mute myself because I'm already getting a headache from it. So yeah, that's why everything is the way it is. I expected you'd come up with D or Z being, with Mercy or Moira being that low down. But the fact that they are this low down is because I genuinely believe they are equivocal to these characters. And again, these are fun to play. Brig is fun to play. Brig is so fun to play. Orisa can be fun to play, but they're just not good for the game. They're unhealthy. Unlike where Lucio and Ana are fun. They're high skill. They have huge game impact based on how well you play them. Brigida has huge game impact regardless of how well or badly you play the character. It's just a fact of the matter. Reaper goes down in D as well. Reinforces bad playstyle. His lifesteal is too forgiving. Shadow Step reloading is too forgiving. Raid Form is just a terrible ability. I mean, it's a purely positional ability.
I don't know if Reaper goes. I thought you. Never mind. Sorry, I thought you were putting for down Z minus. And I was
Nah,
like, what?
he's
Better than Bastion. Rather go against a Reaper.
I better say, I feel like Reaper's a little bit better than Bastion. Reaper's either C or high D. Reaper, obviously, you need a character with a
I wouldn't say even C because I'd much rather see a Mercy on the enemy's team than a Reaper
yeah, Mercy.
because I feel like Mercy is substantially more balanced than Reaper is.
Oh,
If you're
Reaper's
posing.
terribly balanced. I'll do another video after this with a balanced list because some of these characters are not balanced at all.
Yeah.
But Reaper is not healthy for the game state. Again, you watch people who play McCree and the impact they have based on their skill versus Reaper. Again, it all just comes down to basic, like how good you shoot. Reaper gets huge numbers from bad shoot, whereas McCree gets mediocre numbers from good shoot. And I think that's a terrible thing to reinforce with the game, which is why Widowmaker is going up in S tier. Whereas if I see an enemy Widowmaker in the high gold that I play in, I don't give a shit. But if I can watch a professional game or a high level game and both teams have a Widowmaker, I know I'm in for watching some decent gameplay. Is that sort of mentality. That's why Ash is up this high as well.
Yeah. I feel wasn't Ash low like a minute ago?
Ash has been middling
Okay,
between
like,
these. B is probably the most middling class. McCree's pretty solidly up high.
I'd say B works. For,
Yeah.
for just whatever you've got in B.
Symmetra is the
I feel
same
like
as
I
Bastion.
feel like Widow could probably go down to A. I think.
Who could be moved up to A? Cree.
I reckon. No, I think Widow could probably go down to A.
Nah.
It's like a high A. Isn't it?
Really?
But,
Nah, dude. I feel pretty
well, I disagree
solidly with S
Daisy
tier.
as well, and Monkey.
You disagree with
Although Monkey's
Monkey? Monkey's really,
I think-
really good to. If you can watch a good Monkey, it's insane to watch. Playing
Yeah, I haven't
against a
seen
good
very many
monkey
good
can be,
monkeys to be honest.
because like against a good monkey, a Lucio can fight a good monkey, a Zenyatta can fight a good
Mm,
monkey, a good Zenyatta can fight a good monkey, and it's genuinely up to who is that little bit better. Whereas if you have a
mm,
Zenyatta and a Reaper in a 1v1, the Reaper will
yeah,
win.
okay, I'll take that, but
And then yeah, like a Widow
I'm still
1v1, it
struggling
comes
with
down to
Diva. I'm not
mechanics.
convinced on Diva.
You're not convinced on Diva.
I reckon Diva would have been at one point, but
I better
I'm
say,
not
you
sure.
haven't played
I'm not
with
sure if
like
Diva.
Prime Diva. This Diva is up here on the assumption they revert her defense matrix nerfs back to
Yeah, Overwatch
back to
Green.
being
Yeah,
really good to where she was. I think that's what she
yeah.
needs to be useful at the moment. Because at the again,
Yeah.
I'll do a balanced one after this, but a game with games with good divas are so fun to watch and play. Playing a good game on diva is super satisfying. Playing against a good diva is like
Mm,
frustrating enough that you have to deal with it, and then it becomes fine again. That's sort of diva's pretty damn good in my opinion.
mm.
Soldier goes up above McCree. I feel like he has to go above McCree just on merit of skill shot.
He's
Um,
he's very. I don't know.
his basic
I'm not a Smash
FPS
player.
again, character design Z,
Yeah,
but
I'd say
um,
I'd say like look, even probably C tier. He's not bad. He's not offensively bad, but there's nothing really stand out about him. Like he's just like a cookie cutter. Well, and that's what he was designed to be. He was designed to be
he's meant to be
like the
he's
only thing.
literally the character you play in the tutorial, and
Yeah,
that's the only
exactly.
reason he's available. Like he is. Thing is, he is skill shot. He gets better based on how well you shoot. My personal problem
No.
is his.
There's nothing glaringly bad about him, so I wouldn't put him in the same tier as Junkrat.
No, no,
Um,
he's not bad for the game state. I think he's good for the game state because it reinforces that FPS
yeah,
mechanic that is present in the game
yeah, I suppose.
sometimes.
I don't know.
Which
Look, I'd put him mid low Bs,
mid low Bs, I wouldn't put him with any.
but
These characters have insane CC, which is they're probably like the highest rated as CC characters of stuns and
mm,
boops and shit.
mm,
Coach Gun is insanely broken as well. Actually, I didn't talk about that, but Coach Gun is so good if you can use it properly. Oh,
mhm,
but it's like
okay.
Lucio boot but better. Torbjorn, bad for the game, terrible. Torbjorn and Symmetra, Torbjorn and Symmetra, builder
Yeah,
characters, Z tier, bad for the game.
I'd put yeah, 12
I
probably 12 below Symmetra
yeah,
because Symmetra at least has. I feel like it's a shame that Symmetra's so like body because the teleporter mechanic is genuinely something that
teleporter
like
mechanic is
if
fun.
implemented right.
Um,
Yeah,
and
it's
her
fun. Like, encourages strategy.
yeah, and the thing is, her turrets are just so strong. And
Yeah, and
again, I know they're not. You can just play a monkey against it, and the turrets aren't a problem. But if you're playing monkey against it, there's other problems with that fact. Like,
Mm,
turret removes a wrecking ball's existence. If you play wrecking ball into symmetry, you can't win
yeah,
because
yeah.
once a turret hits you, your fireball stops and you're out. So that's hard
Mm,
to do. But so she goes down. She again enforces that. She's probably actually high Z. Unlike Torbjorn. Torbjorn is the exact same problem I have with the C tier characters. They're spam, free value, nonsense. He
mm.
has such high damage on his projectiles.
Yeah,
His
I
turret is
think
hit scan,
talking.
100% accuracy. It's trash. I hate it. Molten Core is the way
Yeah,
it's
I don't know.
used is just irritating to me.
I feel like Symmetra should go at least above Reaper because Reaper's teleportation mechanic um, is like it's not team serving; it's very self-serving.
Yeah,
Whereas Symmetra's one can be used strategically.
Reaper and Symmetra TPs are the only abilities in game that can't be used to benefit you in combat. Reaper has that one really niche scenario where in the middle of teleport he's immortal, and that's like the one time
Hmm.
you can use it in a fight. But Symmetra TP is again raw strategy. These two are
Yeah.
really hard to. Symmetra is really hard to place. She's very close to like being C tier, but also very close
Hmm.
to being Z and Z minus. Like she's
Yeah. Well, the
somewhere
fact
in
that they've
these.
balanced her substantially from is like
Oh, dude, you've seen
encouraging.
yeah
I've seen where it was basically literally
the old lock on.
fucking mercy beam, but just damage.
Yeah, like that's what I'm looking on now. Symmetra lock on images.
Mm.
There you go. That little bendy boy, which was just a bitch, and
Yeah,
she
so
had
good.
six turrets.
I'm
They
just
all had
watching.
the same slowness on it.
I'm just watching the stream like 2 seconds. Oh, not more than 2 seconds. Like maybe 10, 15 seconds behind. So I'm hearing you say these things. I'm like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. I know. There's a fair amount of delay. I have it turned down to as little as I can get away with, but
No,
like this is just If you
Yeah, that's
when you
insane.
inevitably catch the thing that I'm on, that's gross. Like that
That's just
removes
fucking
counterplay.
rude.
Glad that's
The
gone.
tracer one.
The
Yeah.
thing is, her damage when she full charges, scary number.
Mm,
100,
yeah.
DPS. If you have the ability to melt a majority of these characters in less than a second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you are shitting me. Okay, no, never mind.
What was that?
I forgot my mouse has a bound to back and forth on the Google Chrome. I went back, but that's all good.
Oh, I
It
just
saved my
that's
placements.
it.
Saved my
Holy shit.
placements. Um, yeah,
Oh my god.
Sim is really hard to place. She's not overly offensive until
Yeah.
she's played well,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is
I get
why
that.
she's not going to go up to super high. But we'll
Yeah, no,
keep her
I wouldn't
around
put it.
about there. And
Yeah.
Tracer, here's a bit of a hot take for you. B tier, high B.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
She is way too oppressive if she's played well. And again,
Yeah.
like obviously
I've been against too many
a
good
good
characters.
everything can play against her well, but I feel like it takes like a two steps up on a good Widowmaker to beat
Yeah, totally.
a
Yeah.
Tracer.
Look, I
Like,
probably I wouldn't say that her values are the same as just about anything you've got in A tier, with the exception of maybe Soldier.
yeah,
Um,
Soldier does
but
look
I'd
like a bit of
probably
a
put
weird
everything
spot,
in
but
B.
yeah,
Yeah,
just yeah,
I'd say Soldier and Tracer are sort of interchangeable as
yeah,
being like kind of on that line
yeah,
between.
exactly. She's like again, she's similar to Doomfist in that when you're playing her well, you have so much fun because you can just
Hmm.
dominate, but everybody on the enemy team is worse off if you're playing well. And again, she's a
Yeah.
character that requires CC to adequately, effectively, and consistently deal with.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she can just run rampant. So she's low. But obviously, in terms of balance, again, A tier. She's really good. Character that rewards you being mechanically good enough to output the damage. But playing against is not all that.
Mm.
That's my tier list. So who are your major
Yeah.
problems? Soldier, Reaper.
Um, I'd say Soldier probably not. I'm generally okay with the rest of it. Look, I'd probably put Sombra maybe super low Z and not Z
Nah,
minus.
Sombra goes in Z minus, dude. Sombra so deserves Z minus.
I don't know.
Fuck Sombra, man. Sombra is inherently toxic for the game.
I don't
Again,
know. I
these
kind of
two characters have
in
a
certain circumstances I can enjoy like a firefight with like a Sombra or like when I see like there's a Sombra on the enemy team, there is sort of like an element of competitiveness that I do enjoy. So I guess there's some kind of degree of value in that.
I wonder if that comes
Whereas,
from you playing healers and characters that inherently aren't too hard fucked by Sombra. You play Ball now, which you if you keep playing Ball, you'll realize
oh
how
yeah,
annoying
yeah,
she is.
yeah. No, no, no.
But
I fucking hate Sombra as ball,
yeah,
but like I don't know. I don't think she's inherently like the worst character. I don't know.
I don't think she's the worst. She's definitely, as I
I,
said, I keep shuffling these two around. But
I enjoy going up against an enemy Sombra more than I do an enemy Torbjorn.
really, I feel like a
Not in
Torbjorn.
terms of them being difficult to play, but in terms of like the challenge that they sort of pose. Like I enjoy gameplay wise. Like Torbjorn is very straightforward. He's kind of dull to go up against. Whereas there's like a degree of excitement when you're going up against Sombra because you have to actually put in effort, even if they're not.
Okay, yeah, I get that. The
So that,
counterplay for Sombra can be fun, but
hmm.
again, it's sort of
It
like
depends on if they're being brainless or not. Like
yeah,
there's potential. I'd say there's potential for Sombra to be Z minus, but I
yeah.
wouldn't say inherent. Whereas May is very much inherent.
May's very Z minus, but
I
the
can
thing is
count
with
the amount of
Sombra,
times I've enjoyed playing against a May on zero hands.
yeah, no, if you've played like
Anyway.
a millisecond of the game with me, you know why I hate May. The thing is with
Hmm.
Sombra, she inherently removes all the things that make these characters fun to play with, against, and to
Mm.
watch, except maybe
Yeah.
Soldier and Widowmaker, whose mechanics are gun. Like these three characters who
It'd
play
be
gun.
interesting. It'd be interesting if Sombra, when she had, instead of removing all abilities for like a cooldown, if it did like a randomized one of like two abilities,
That would be really
if it was
good.
just one or two randomized one,
Yeah,
because then you could be
I
like, all right, well I'm bald, so I can't, maybe I can't
pile driver, but you
turn
can transform.
yeah, I can't power driver, but I can still spin it.
Yeah,
Maybe I can't put up fucking what's it shields, um, but I can still spin around, or maybe I can spin around, but I can sustain myself from the other two
yeah.
to get at it. But you can
I
still take damage in that. So it'd be an interesting dynamic to see what would happen if it's removed one or two.
yeah.
Um,
I have a weird alternate. I've been working on something at the very least mentally. I like the idea of
Go down into your basement. There's like posters and like scribbling
oh
on the
dude, this
walls.
it's like that insane dude
What
from
does it
it's you know
mean?
that scene it's always sunny where he's like mad looking at the that's what my
Yeah,
brain
I
is like. But
know.
especially in regards to shit like
That's
this.
something good.
But
Yeah.
of like primary and secondary abilities as well as fires
Hmm.
because you've got characters like we'll look at who's a good character for this. Oh my god. Reinhardt. Reinhardt's a really good character for this. When Reinhardt gets
Hmm.
hacked, he can't do anything other than swing hammer. He
Hmm.
becomes a walking alt battery essentially. I think he
Yeah.
should be able to keep his shield up. Considering that's a
Hmm.
core part of his kit, he should be able to do that.
Hmm.
Um, fucking, I don't know.
Maybe if he was able to offer some kind of shielding, but like exclusively for Reinhardt, so that Reinhardt's value to his team
Yeah,
dissipates.
that's
So
again,
Reinhardt himself will
yeah,
stay alive for like 4 or 5 seconds.
yeah. The
So
thing,
that way the hack provides value in that everybody can get a couple shots off on the rest of the opposing team. But Reinhardt himself isn't just completely useless.
yeah, because that's what hack essentially does to it. It just devalues them. Like
Mm.
they've changed
Hmm.
her recently so that she turns off Pharah's rockets. Genji can't double jump and Lucio can't wall ride or swap between healing or speed.
I
It
think
just turns Lucio off. Lucio just gets turned off by Sombra.
should be retained.
Yeah, there are abilities that
Retained.
I think should be retained, and I think it should counter into Diva and Sigma's eating. You know how they show up on the kill feed, whether you eat Grav or.
Mhm.
I feel like if they get blocked, they should be showed up. Ana's Sleep and Nade should be two major abilities. She can be hacked out of them, that's fine. I
Mhm.
feel like Diva should get a little thing in the kill feed, even if it's an optional thing, as to whether or not she eats Nade or Sleep. Um, Grav is the same. Flashbang for me is very similar. Um, Certain abilities that are just insanely strong that if they're blocked, I think would be Moira Orb. Things that need to be like registered and noticed as a cooldown to be eaten. In my opinion.
See, I think that Moira's gameplay is inherently interesting and like to play as and to be on a team with. And there is like a lot of strategy to like in certain circumstances, like you can use the character intelligently, but the sheer value that it provides for people who just use her unintelligently
That's
is
the thing,
like
yeah.
ridiculous. The balance there, like the ratio isn't balanced. And
Yeah.
so like if there was a way that they implemented changes to Moira's character that inherently encouraged more intelligent gameplay,
Yeah.
maybe if they got rid of the the lock
The
on
soft lock
for
is the one of the big
yeah,
things that's actually insane. A lot harder than people notice how bad that soft lock is.
yeah.
It's like, especially since
Or
it
if
locks on
maybe
out of her range as well, it'll stay on.
maybe if yeah, so maybe if like her range was withdrawn a little bit, like full stop, just like her range came in a bit,
Yep.
and then soft the range for soft lock was even further back, so that soft lock was essentially a
Not a thing.
melee kind of thing,
Yeah.
like a melee range
Oh,
almost.
okay.
And
So it's like
then there
soft
was
lock
like
if
a
you're
straight
closer.
beam forward sort of thing. So like you'd have to actually aim
Yeah.
to get things in, and then for like melee area, and
That
then
would be
put the
good.
damage to soft lock up a bit, so that it's like okay, protect herself fairly stably if she's like. But then that would, I suppose, that would discourage melee combat. Which, I mean, is that something that really matters?
Melee combat's
But
insane, dude. Melee, once you start getting value, it's weird. You actively notice when you start meleeing more in combat.
mm,
You actively get
yeah,
better
I
at the
mean,
game when you start hitting quick melees better. Fuck
mm,
me, I went
I
backwards again.
feel like there'd be ways to utilize the design for Moira's character because I do think that Moira's character is inherently interesting and
Yeah,
does like
the
I don't know.
the
I
the
really don't.
bloodthirsty support is was always taken by Zenyatta, just because doesn't have as much raw numbers, so he always dealt more
Yeah,
damage.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so having
Zenyatta,
an Zenyatta's
yeah,
actually
you go.
genuinely deserves S tier. He's so fun to watch when he's played well.
Yeah, Zenyatta's probably like my favorite character.
Yeah, Zed and
Big bad
Lucio
boy.
to me are pretty high up, but
Yeah, easy.
Moira is like, I don't know. I think she's just her healing is such a high number. It lingers for so it's that over 2 seconds that 120 health for
Mm,
each left click is just broken. It turns like if you are fighting someone, you get them down to 1 health as like a Genji.
yeah.
You're in one of those weird fights where they're just dodging your shurikens, and like Moira hits them once with heals. You just undo all the damage you've dealt to this person.
What if the healing range stayed the same and the healing rate stayed the same? But like, if we were to make changes for like say the soft lock being within like a like an extended melee distance kind of thing,
Yeah, I feel like
What if
yeah,
mm,
the fact you can
what
stand
if
in a
like if
group
you're in
and
that
spray is
same
annoying
distance,
as well.
if you're in that same distance and you heal somebody within that same distance, maybe then you get the healing over 2 seconds. But
Yeah,
then otherwise, if you heal them outside of that distance, it just provides just the block of HP or something.
that would be something that would be useful. Yeah, again, it's just sort of something that
Mm.
needs to discourage her impact from absolutely everywhere. You can feel a Moira from everywhere across the
Yeah,
game.
exactly.
It's
Like you
just
don't
that
need to
little
be
bit
an
of
intelligent bloody
same.
player to get insane value for your team.
Yeah, kind of the same with Brigida. It's different to Mercy. That's why Mercy's a little bit higher up. Mercy has to be with
I feel
whoever
like,
she's fucking with. Brigida, if you are
mm,
opposite sides of like the point, I'm imagining King's Row here. If Brigida
yeah,
is
yeah,
fighting someone at the end choke and you're fighting someone at the front choke, I'll bring
yeah.
up on the map. You
I'm
can
just
get
thinking
they get heal
with
value from that.
Brigida, I feel like Mora's gameplay is like inherently more interesting than Brigida's gameplay.
Brigida being able
Like
to get value through
Brigida's
shield
gameplay,
and
it can be
mechanically not.
super. It can be much more brainless, like her combat than um Moira's combat. Sorry, did I say melee before? I meant combat.
Yeah, I understood it at least. But
Yeah, yeah. Like because you can hold down left click and just angle. And I think it's very different to Ryan's melee because you have to juggle between like protecting your team
yeah, Ryan's
and
melee
then
is
melee,
an
whereas Brigade
insanely
it's like
satisfying thing.
it's Brigade is like exclusively like self-serving shield. So you have to
Yeah,
juggle between your
that was to
self-serving
make
shield
her.
and mindless melee
Yeah, that was to
and
make her less
yeah.
oppressive as like a team fighter. Having that 600 HP shield, which for perspective is
Mm,
as big as Orisa's shield is now, and was the same health as Old
mm,
Monkey shield. It's insane. But like
mm.
a Brigida being able to be here and giving value to whoever's over here annoys me. That's not something I think should be a thing because that way I can be having a frontline battle with a Reinhardt here, and the Brigida that's fucking around in their back with my Genji who's feeding gives value to the front line without
Mm.
giving any attention to it. Value without attention is probably the best way without avoiding this. You could almost fall asleep playing some of these characters at the ones I'm clicking right
Yeah,
now and still get value. Have you seen the custard clip of him playing Mercy as well? That's a
no.
pretty exclusive, a pretty like one-off thing.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
just
I
I
feel
just googled
I
custom
feel
Mercy clip, but
I
this is
feel like
exactly the one.
there'd be interesting ways to do a couple of the characters that you've got in like Z minus tier.
These are definitely characters
Whereas I
that
think
need reworks.
yeah, whereas I think that with somebody like Brigitte, there's just no interesting way to make her balanced and fun and just generally an interesting character. Like her design is uninteresting, her gameplay is like uninteresting and kind of unbalanced. Like I don't know, I'm just uninterested by the prospect of Brigitte.
Yeah, and it doesn't take long to realize that as well. You look at hashtag delete Brig. You look at the impact she had on the
Mm,
game for the 12 months after she came out.
mm. Just watching the clips you
It's
playing.
literally just him. He has his damage boost on a toggle, so he just
That's hilarious.
leaves.
Yeah,
That's a niche situation for Mercy. Most Mercy is hashtag delete Brig.
yeah,
People were so angry that
yeah.
Brigadier
Mhm.
existed,
Yeah, well, it's dumb.
and
It's
then
dumb.
when
At
Mercy
least with
was
Mercy, it does encourage you, like with her movement ability, it does encourage you to sort of move around the battlefield. So there is like
yeah,
a constant like movement kind of,
Mercy
not a
has that.
reminder, there's a word I'm looking for. Uh,
Yeah,
intention? No. No.
you have to be knowing what's going on. You have that little bit of have to be far
Yeah,
enough away to
exactly.
get value, but yeah,
It
it's
encourages you to constantly survey the landscape and what's going on.
yeah,
So it's yeah, it's encouraging you to be an active participant in like understanding the landscape. So like even if her abilities are fairly standard and her healing is kind of standard, um, I
you
feel like removing her from the game would be like a bit of a loss because there is like so much of an encouragement. And for new players, it's I'd say she probably even provides more value than I think like Soldier 76 would in a lot of instances because it in providing that movement mechanic, it does let you see more of what your characters are doing like on your team. Um, and it sort of does encourage that involvement and that kind of like spectating, whereas Soldier as an entry point into Overwatch is very self-serving.
yeah, he
And
almost
like
doesn't need
because
to be in the
Overwatch is such
competitive
an
scene.
inherently like team-based game. Whereas like if you're playing Team Fortress 2, like you can play it cooperatively, like but on the whole, it does encourage a very self-serving play style.
Yeah,
Um,
and
but
you
like with Mercy, like it represents like really well for Overwatch, like the cooperative like necessity. Whereas again, like Soldier 76, like you can like obviously like you can play him cooperatively, but like from a new player standpoint, I don't think it provides anywhere near as much cooperative like entry value as somebody like Mercy.
yeah.
Sorry, I've cut you off like 3 times. You can go
No,
now.
that's fine. You're in the middle of your statement. Yeah, I definitely get that, but I think I played before 222 a lot more than you've played even after 222. So I know that's actually had a surprising impact on this. Soldier was only ever played if you were running 4 DPS.
Hmm.
So you'd have a soldier because he can do whatever the hell he wants off to the right.
Yeah.
Soldier can be here. You can have a Sombra or a Widowmaker over here, a Hanzo here,
Mm.
and somebody else peppering from here. While you have one front line with one healer, and everybody else is just shitting out damage. Nobody can be attacked because Soldier can heal himself and run away like a pussy. Sombra can translocate away because she's broken and that's an ability that shouldn't be used. Widowmaker should never be in a fight, ideally, but she has grapple if she needs. Hanzo, again, just left clicks the middle of the character and gets a headshot. So, like, that's how you would run old 4 DPS, and that's sort
Yeah,
of where
yeah.
Soldier's kit was actually really, really good. But in 222, he's just
Mm.
essentially, yeah, a little bit of a Lucio, literally a worst Baptiste. A lot of people say Soldier's just,
Yeah.
Baptiste is Soldier but better. He has a higher DPS, his heal is better,
Mm.
and he has 2 cooldowns that are useful. AoE healing and Immortality Field, which is trash. I hate Immortality. But
Yeah. Yeah.
again, I'll leave that for a balance thing. But this overall, I'm gonna download it. Boop.
I'd say no. I'd say that Bastion should be bumped down into shouldn't exist. To be honest, like there's not really that much redeeming
He's very close to being in
quality.
that spot.
Like I don't know. I mean, the only real redeeming quality of it is that it doesn't have a soft lock ability like Sombra's hack or Mei's.
Yeah,
Um,
May's 22%
like, oh, I
accuracy
mean, that
value.
doesn't really have a soft lock, but it's got like the area of effect is basically a soft lock.
Yeah,
Um,
it going through multiple people as well. Terrible idea.
because like
Trash.
it doesn't encourage any teamwork or cooperativeness. It doesn't provide really any value to your players outside of giving them kills. Um, Even on a competitive level, like its abilities are inherently self-serving. There is not a single like even with somebody like Soldier 76, you can heal, um, or you can put down your like shit, but fucking there's nothing like its abilities are inherently self-serving.
Yeah,
So I feel like
May's
Bastion
wall
should
is the
be.
probably the only redeeming part of her kit is that wall is a very fun
Mm.
ability to like potentially the potential of wall is
Yeah,
insane,
exactly,
but
exactly.
the impact
I
of it
think that
is
may
always
I think
hard.
that makes it a very interesting like character prospect as well. Like I remember the first time I saw Overwatch and I saw May's like gameplay, I thought, oh, that's such like an interesting idea for a character, such an interesting concept,
Yeah,
and you could tell there's like a lot of creativity behind it. And unfortunately, it doesn't bleed through into the um,
yeah. Again, you watch like
competitive scene as much. But
when May wasn't meta and people were running goats and
Mhm.
dive and stuff. Um, she was played and she was really really cool. She would be like S or A tier because you wouldn't have
Mhm.
the time to freeze more than one person. You would just,
Yeah,
if you were lucky,
yeah,
you'd get a monkey that dove on you if you got a smidge of healing, just a crumb.
yeah.
But
I was,
otherwise, you like,
I was gonna say, I'm not as like I don't comprehend the storied history of May's like
yeah,
gameplay
this is
thing
where I'm
for
coming
the
from,
moment.
being a bit of a moron.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you look at character people who played May before she was useful. Players like Jardio. Jardio is insanely good at May, and his like freeze to kill accuracy percentage was insanely low. He'd hit just like sniper shots as basic shots without them freezing first. His walls were
Mhm.
insanely good. He was getting value on May before she was broken OP, which is really good. If she's in that situation, she's S or A tier, easy. Because again, she becomes a skill shot, but a projectile skill shot, which is like Hanzo, but less spammy, I guess. So probably actually more of a B tier. But now that she's
Yeah.
good, it's such a brainless easy mode. She just beats every tank in this game. She's
Mm.
single-handedly making tank play the worst thing on the planet. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I can't tell which me you're reacting to, but
Yeah. No. No. Sorry.
yeah,
I'm just like on the stats that you've got up on your screen as well. So I'm like
yeah. There's not
figuring it out.
yeah, but these aren't his exact stats. I just know his stats roughly off the top of my head. Um,
Yeah. No.
um, I'm gonna redo this tier list bit for balance now, so I'm gonna have to delete everything and reset. So
Yeah.
reset,
Okay.
reset.
I might jump out for
Yeah, no,
the
go ahead.
balancing.
Don't
I
stress.
got work in
Yeah, I'm just gonna whine about Overwatch for like another hour.
the. Sounds good, dude.
Yeah,
Honestly, you should like clip this shit and like make it into like a podcast because it's like something that you know what's going on. You understand the history of it a bit. I don't know. I feel
yeah.
like it could be good to
This stuff's just been on my head for ages, so I'm gonna
yeah,
present it now.
totally. And then
Just
like
while I'm
edit
bored.
it so that you don't hear me kind of like stumbling through this conversation.
Yeah,
Nah, all good.
not a
Really,
problem.
it's been real. If you save the video, I will watch it later.
Yeah, not a problem.
Catch you, Megan.
Have a Gucci.
Love you. Bye.
Alright, balance. Okay, so we've got S tier balance characters. We're gonna chew through these bad boys. Alright, most balanced character in Overwatch. Tracer, Widowmaker, Ana. I'll go through these logically. Lucio. Um, Probably those bad boys. Insanely good. Characters that reward you being super good at it, but punish you for not being good. That's what we need. That's what you need in the game. Um, I almost want to say Doomfist, but Doomfist doesn't belong where he is at the moment. He's way too low. He's very close to being ST. Again, he's either D or S. Same with May, really. But at the moment, oh fuck, this actually throws the alphabetical order out of whack. But at the moment, it's these guys. A good Widowmaker player deserves to be at S tier. Balance wise, she's fine. Ana, balance wise, fine. Probably the only thing you might fuck around with is buffing her damage. But that's just for people who go on solo missions against people. But that's all a playstyle thing. I think it's a fine damage at the moment. The only, yeah. No, that's fine. Lucio, obviously, perfect. Lucio's perfect in every way. We'll make another. Lucio's broken. He's, well, not broken, obviously, because otherwise he'd be in D tier, but Lucio's perfectly designed, perfectly made, perfectly. His numbers are and everything are really good. I love Lucio. Model of a character. Widowmaker, Ana, and Tracer again. If you play them really well, you can run rampant, get insane value, and you deserve to get the value on them. Um, but yeah, they're never too strong. You could play Tracer probably not in Goats. It was probably the only time you couldn't play Tracer. I think you could play Tracer into double shields right now pretty alright, especially up against Baptiste Zen, which people have been running a lot. She shits on Zenyatta just by existence. And Baptiste is fine. Once you can run a good Tracer, you can run her whenever the hell you want. It's so hard to punish, but so rewarding to play. Ana's insane as well. Insane playmaking potential, but super easy to play badly. Again, these are all just skill shot characters. McCree can probably go pretty close to S or at least A actually. No, he goes at about A. Same with Ash. Ash and McCree go in the same spot for the same reasons. But these characters definitely deserve to be where they are. Easy mode. You have to earn your value, and when you get your value, it's insane. That's all you need for the game. You can be countered easily with these characters, but you can like outplay your counters. They're not like it's not a hard counter like Sombra Doom, where if Sombra gets the hack off, Doomfist dies. If McCree gets the flashbang on you, you don't necessarily die. If you're up against a Widowmaker, you don't necessarily die. If you're up against a Genji, you don't necessarily die. Lucio is just Lucio, obviously. I need to stop saying that, but he is. Kree has CC, but Kree's really fine. I think the only thing you could really do, as I said, is fuck around with Fan the Hammer, which is just way too broken on the front line for pressure. Ash's Bob charge rate is pretty big. Yeah, I'd probably mess around with the Bob charge rate and maybe even hip fire speed. I think she's very strong. Again, this is as a tank player, so I'm probably way out of place. Her hip fire does insane damage to shields and big hitboxes like Roadhog, like Reinhardt, and gets rewarded for, again, very little accuracy. But you can get that value on it. She's, yeah, between A and C, pretty alright, but skill shot wise, high enough to be up there. Baptiste's gun is pretty easy to use. Hard to aim for damage, easy to aim for shooting. Left shift, self cooldown, pretty easy. Immortality field, pretty easy. Window, pretty easy. I'd put him at about a C to a B. He gets value pretty damn easily. Exo boots makes him very hard to kill. Immortality field makes him obviously impossible to kill. I still think its hitbox is too small, and it's the way it interacts with LOS is busted. I understand that's sort of the metagame, but anything that stops you from being able to outskill someone is just not good for the game. If I work hard to hit a ton of hit shots on Widowmaker, I don't want it all to be for naught because this immortality field is around a corner. I don't like that. I understand that it encourages team gameplay so you can have somebody in the back killing it, but if somebody's in the back killing it, then the people in the immortality field deal with the people dealing with the immortality field, and you can't do anything against it because they're just at full health. They're at 20% health forever, so it's annoying. Bastion D tier. Bastion. No, sorry, I've got to do that thing again. Add row below. Remove. Bastion actually deserves a remove in terms of balance. Head hitbox shouldn't be in the back. That's dumb. If I was behind the Bastion, I wouldn't need to worry about him anyway. He is only good in the right spot, which makes him bad, pretty much, in my opinion. If Overwatch wants every character to be viable, he's terrible. If Overwatch only wants certain characters to be viable, he shouldn't be in the game. He should never be balanced because he should never be able to play professionally in high tier gameplay. He should just be one of those characters that beats up lower ranks until people learn how to get a flank on him. But don't like Bastion, too easy to get value with. The armor plus the 10% damage reduction in turret plus the self heal plus the fact he's almost always behind a shield with double pocket makes him way too hard to kill and shits out way too much damage. Damage indicator's way too high. Brigitte, I'm actually going to put pretty high up. The way she is now, she's obviously still super easy to get damage and inspire uptime from, but she can just be outplayed. A super good Brigitte is super good up until she gets outpicked, which makes her, again, about B. If she was balanced, she'd be more adequately able to deal with her counters, and she wouldn't hard counter people as much. She doesn't really hard counter Genji. She shits on him. She doesn't beat Tracer anymore, which was her entire reason for existence. Rally is still very good against most dive anything. Inspire is insane for numbers. We'll keep her middling. We'll keep her with Baptiste. It's a pretty safe bet. D.Va, safe bet again. Pretty okay. These characters are just things that I'm okay with. These ones I love. I don't like Fan the Hammer. I don't like Bob's charge rate. I don't like most of these characters' things. I hate defense matrix being as small as it is. It makes her need to be way too close to the combat, and I don't like D.Va having to do that. Her awareness should be the thing that makes her super good. She doesn't get countered by anything, so she could be S tier. Nothing shits on D.Va too hard. But put her in about a high A. That defense matrix change is all she needs. Because at the moment, while May is good, while May is like very good, obviously the D tier characters are the characters that are going to get be meta because they're easy to play, easy to get value, so you play them anyway. So, I mean, hard to play because there's so much you can do with D.Va, so much you have to do with D.Va to get value. But if you do it, you're so good. Looking at some of the best players in the game are people who've played D.Va or play D.Va as like a one-off. The reason people one-shot, one-trick D.Va and don't get like flamed for it is because of how good she can be. Give her back 15 meter defense matrix, she comes up to Lucio tier. I love it. Best, that's what she deserves. Genji, a B. Again, these two existing in the same game inherently annoys me. Genji's ult, not very good. You need the nano to do anything with it. He has the ability to beat everyone in the game. Moira soft lock, May beam, Symmetra beam. No, not even Symmetra beam. Symmetra turrets. Again, there's outplay potential for him. It's not like you run into a character that you just can't beat, so he's pretty balanced. And you don't run into characters that you just instantly outbeat. He's not the best tank buster. He's really good at assassinating squishies, Zenyatta, Mercy. I like him. He's pretty much S or A. Nah, I'll keep him at S actually. Actually, I really like him. I'll keep him at S. Hanzo, C. Storm Arrow is way too forgiving, way too high damage. Arrow hitbox, way too high damage. Sonic, obviously good. I'd rather Scatter. If Scatter was in, he'd definitely be B to A. Probably actually only B. But Storm Arrow just deals way too much damage. If it's damage boosted, it's insane. I prefer Sonic, as I said before. Leap, vertical mobility, all really good. Him being able to deal with fire is the worst bit. Projectiles are way too fast, way too big. Shrink his projectiles, make it go slower. That's what we need for him. Doomfist, bad. Terribly balanced. Way too much control over your characters. His control over the game needs to be the same as what it is to Reinhardt now. He needs an insane decrease to all of his knockbacks. Slam, uppercut, all too strong. Punch, way too strong. The fact he hits a max value punch from max range is a problem. So you can hold it for 1.14 seconds, go as hard as you can, miss everything, but at the very end of your punch range hit someone and still throw them the max range, and if they hit the wall at that max range, they still take the 350 damage total. Not it, Chief. Not it, Chief. It's too forgiving, 4-second cooldown, 350 damage, never should be a thing. One-shot potential should be reserved for skill shots, and I think Widowmaker should be the only character with them. I don't think Hanzo... If you fix Hanzo's hitboxes, he'll definitely go up to S pretty quickly, but... yeah. One-shot's terrible. Junkrat's pretty balanced. He's pretty balanced, unfortunately. Trap is stopping him from being S tier. Trap is busted. The fact how Trap interacts with momentum abilities like jump. If you jump and land into a trap, it stops you. If you charge into a trap, it stops you. If you roll into a trap, it stops you. That's the worst. That should be an altered thing. There should be, if you have increased momentum, you don't get trapped. That's just, it's busted. It traps everything and anything. Concussive is a pretty fucking big knockback, and he's an explosion damage character, so he's inherently way stronger in certain situations. So again, I guess no, because a good tier Junkrat will be able to deal with his counters. Good tier Junkrat